What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Minor League Films. We are back talking horror movie originals versus the remakes. Got a lot to talk about as we run down. We're going to talk Texas Chainsaw, Child's Play, Halloween, Friday the 13th, and Elm Street. While we're on that subject, please let me know what is your favorite remake of a horror movie up to date, as you got a lot to choose from. We got a lot to choose from. Got here, I got my guy Scotty, and joined by the comic detective. Detective, good to have you back. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I appreciate y'all having me back.
Of course,
Just
happy to
getting over
have
the
you. And
flu. Excuse
Scotty
the
is
voice.
good to have you. And Scotty's always dressed up as a clown, as you see here. He is a
I
detective
am a
himself.
detective.
Well, we're gonna see, as you're a
Mustache
detective,
ain't
you can
working.
identify the better movie. Is it gonna be the original or is it gonna be the remake? So I want to start here. Everybody like that video, hit that sub button. Let's jump right into it. So Texas Chainsaw recently watched both the original and the remake from 2003. So that's 1974 and 2003, if you're keeping track. So I want to start with that one. Thought they were both pretty solid. It got my opinion on them, but Detective, I will give you the first crack at it. First of all, let me know what do you think of the 1974 original Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
So I like older movies. I actually think that movie's outdated. I am not a fan of the original at all, if I'm being honest with you. Um, I understand the popularity behind that movie, but I just can't get with it. They talk about how it's more of a thriller than a horror, and the atmosphere. And for me, the atmosphere was never there. And I love my '70s movies. I love my '80s movies. I didn't see it, and I've never been a fan. And of course, the acting to me was atrocious. It was terrible. And I like B movies. One of my favorite movies is Zombievers. So I like really bad movies, but I just I can never get with it. So if I was comparing the two, I'd definitely put the 2003 remake over the original.
Okay, Scotty, you are a big proponent of the remake 2003. What did you like about that movie?
Oh man, I thought the acting was great. The first thing, and I thought that it started off with suspense. When that little white girl came in the car and was like, help me. I can't go back. I'm not gonna tell you where I was at, but I can't go back. And they're actually trying to help her like human beings. And then she shoots herself when they go close to the city. I was like, whoa, immediately the movie just started. And every scene took me deeper, like down the rabbit hole of, oh shit, we not gonna make it out of here. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed the feeling I got from each actor in each scene, especially the dude with the glasses, like when the sheriff, I can't remember his name, is Ern. I think his first name is Ern, the dude that always
Harley
played.
Ermy.
Yes, man. When he played the same role in every movie, he played that sheriff perfectly. I was scared in the police scene. I've never been scared in a police scene in a movie before. So I thought that was phenomenal. And the same thing, like to echo what Detective said, 1974 movie for me, and I did a rewatch maybe about 2-3 years ago. I think it's well done for that time for what they were trying to do. But if I'm comparing it to any other movie other than 3D, I that's like a D minus in Catholic school.
Yeah,
Can't do
so
it.
I guess I will be the one on the side of the original. I actually went to go see it in theaters, and everything people talk about of how that movie won, it invented the modern day slasher as you go back to it, because you really hadn't seen much like that before, maybe other than Psycho at the time. But just I think for me, just how fun that movie is, and yeah, it's horror and it has those elements in there, but there's really not a lot of blood. There's really not a lot of killing that you get to see. It's really more so psychological to that aspect in that movie. Obviously, Ed Gein show that's out now. It takes pretty much everything from that case and puts it onto a movie. And it's one of those where you're just stuck in a house with weird stuff that they don't really explain, which a lot of movies do today. They'll over explain. So I think that, but it's also just a fun ride. You like the characters. I like hanging out with them. Obviously, I do like the original Hitchhiker being part of the family, being crazy. And I think that movie, I could just see how every movie since then in the horror genre has taken stuff from that and has redone it. But I thought it was a really fun movie. So I personally would lean more on the side of the original. I think it's really, really good, and I think it's a fun experience. But obviously, both of you like the remake for that one. Am I right?
Yeah, you got outvoted this time. Go ahead, chalk one up for us.
All right. So that is Texas Chainsaw. Definitely check out both of you haven't seen it. And also do if you have a chance to catch that original in theater, do that because it was a great experience. Moving on, a little sillier, but we go to Child's Play.
Oh
So,
yeah.
Detective, I don't know about you, but I know me and Scotty grew up with Child's Play 1 through 50 as far. I mean, one's a little old for us, but all the following ones we were probably around for. Definitely a little on the sillier end, but I want to ask you, how did you feel and I'm not trying to age you, but in 1988 with the original Child's Play. What was your actual? I want to know what's your experience when that movie came out, because it is very different from the other slasher movies that we have.
I saw it on cable when I was 12.
Okay.
So that would be the following year, 89. So, and it terrified me at the time. At the time, it was terrifying. Now, that movie, again, it's not a horror. I'm a grown man. I'll punt a doll. All right. So I'm not worried about that. But now it's still, like, the acting is still there. The voice acting by Brad Dourif, the puppet work. Um, oh my God, I cannot think of. Uh, it's a Sarandon. I can't think of which one, but he plays the cop. I can't even think of the mom's name right now. But they're top tier actors, especially for that time. So it's a really well made movie. It's still a thriller. Um, and compared to the remake, and we're talking about with the electronic one, not the series.
Yeah.
That electronic one, it's a hosh posh of awfulness. It's a collection of the worst parts of that entire series, and they threw it together for that remake. I know people say, well, they just updated everything. No, they ruined it. They really ruined it. Sometimes I see you have, oh, well, if we win with this doll and this did this, let's add 10 dolls. Well, if we win with this doll and we could add technology, let's make him Darth Vader, you know? So you actually ruin the movie at that point. So I think the original is way better.
Okay. Scotty, I will pass it to you for the 2019. I think we both like that remake. We both thought it was pretty solid. So what about the 2019 movie stuck out to you, and which one do you prefer? You can answer that at the end.
And I like both of them, but I liked the remake because it was a different kind of Chucky. It wasn't like, hey, I'm a serial killer and now I'm a doll trying to get into this little white kid's body. I like that he started off as a clean slate. Like you could just mold him into whatever you wanted to be. He didn't start becoming mean until he started seeing like a scene where he saw horror movies on TV. So I kind of felt for the doll. I'm like, and then the kid threw him in the trash can. I'm like, God damn. Like this kid he did not know the value of $1. Like that's not Chucky's fault that he just threw him away. He could have been nice about it and say, hey, I need you to be nicer. So I kind of felt for him up until halfway point in the movie where he was killing people for no reason, like when he killed the old lady for no reason. I enjoyed when he took over the GPS in the Waymo car. I enjoyed the whole movie. It didn't get a sequel, so it is what it is. But for what it was, for that little standalone movie, what it was, I enjoyed it. And I like that more than I'll say the original, just for that fact that I could enjoy looking at the doll and saying, okay, this makes sense. What he's doing makes sense. He's protecting the kid. He's learning behavior from this. Like just as far as the two dolls' behavior, I like that behavior better. And I still watch Chucky movies in the series to this day. I've gotten kind of tired of the whole Brad Dourif is just a serial killer and that's his whole motivation. I would have liked to see that doll had more motivation than just being a killer. Like he was like, hey, I'm a friend to the end. He was really a friend up until the end. For real.
So it didn't make sense that voodoo was used in the original, and it was a murderer who just transferred his soul into a doll. It's not like he just decided, I'm a doll, I want to kill. No, it was a murderer who was put in the doll. So he was already a killer by nature. So it just makes sense that he would continue. And then he tried to transfer his soul into the little boy because he wanted to be alive. He wanted to be a real person. But it makes sense that he would not stop killing because that's what he does.
It's true. That's true. What I'm just saying is, I'm not saying it's bad. I can't even say it's bad. I'm just saying I have grown exponentially tired of that. If I'm going just from the first movie, that first movie was great because it had this one line that I continuously say when I'm talking about horror movies is it was cold. That kid Andy delivered it when his mother was shaking him and shit and was like, the doll is not real. And he looked at his mom, he said, but he is. I said, that's what I'm talking about. Tell her again. So I love that movie. Has a soft spot in my heart, but hot take, and I'm probably one of the only people that think this. I think the remake was better than the original movie. I'm sorry.
Okay, so you have some rebuttal on this. I mean, see, I do love that original. I love the suspense of it. Obviously, Chucky the doll was, while being entertaining, is still menacing, and there's a lot of thrill in that and suspense, and you're just waiting, like it's coming, and you're like, all right, man, come on, get to it. And they just make you kind of hold off a little bit, and little by little, they go after people, and no one believes them until everybody finds out while it's too late. Mm-hmm. I also do like that 2019 movie a lot. Now, I will agree with you. It goes from where Scotty's talking about to him learning how to be like a killer and what actually influenced that to Darth Vader, where anything with electricity now. Mm-hmm. It's like the Terminator 1 company just runs everything, and now they own the power and they own every electronic possible. I do think that gets silly. But I do like that 2019 a lot. I think it's entertaining. I think that aspect of him not being a serial killer and actually learned behavior weighs a lot into it. And also, I love Audrey Plaza, so anything she's in gets a vote for me. But but I will say, if I had to stack them up, I think that original is a little bit of a better movie. I like the remake a lot. I like it a lot. It gets way too silly, way more than the original does. But I do like it. But I'll say I'm more on the side of the original.
Okay, fair.
All right. Okay. All right, so now we're dealing with one of the big guns here as we have Michael Myers. So talking Halloween 1978, which I think is a little old for all of us, and the remake in 2007, which is Rob Zombie's version. Now, there's been quite a few different iterations of Michael Myers. But Scotty, I will throw this to you, actually. The original 1978 Halloween, one of the classics in horror. What did you think about that?
That is a perfect movie. I can't think of anything. I couldn't replace any scenes in that movie from what I can remember, because I did a rewatch of all the Halloween movies, even number 3. That first one, the first of all, the score in that movie, the score is crazy. You don't even hear me talking about scores. The score in that movie is crazy. Michael Myers is an asshole and does not. He's just walking around. Every scene I saw him staring at somebody to get one of these, like he was menacing in that movie, because you don't see him doing a lot of stuff in the later movies, like just walking out in the open, beating somebody's ass and cutting them down. Like he really was stealthy and doing things like a real stalker. I enjoyed it. He was clean. The mask was clean. The jumpsuit was clean. Even the scenes where I think one of the favorite scenes in that movie is when the 3 girls with Jamie Lee Curtis is walking down the street and he's driving by blasting Wu-Tang in the station wagon. Yeah. Oh no, it's not Wu-Tang. It was Africa Bambaataa. Sorry, Africa Bambaataa.
That's an Instagram video.
it was Africa Bambaataa. I'm sorry, it wasn't Wu-Tang. And he was blasting that thing at top volume just so they could see him. Then he just turned the corner and hit him with one of these. I'm coming for all y'all. I enjoyed that. I still enjoy that movie. Now, does it hold up for me today? As a general movie, yeah, of course not a horror movie because I'm in my 30s now. The remake, the first one, not the second one, the first one, I enjoyed that one. Look at my mustache going on crazy. I enjoyed the first one because you see the whole first 35 minutes, you have the backstory of the family, not just Michael Myers, but the whole family. So you get just a little bit of his upbringing. His stepfather was a creep. His mother was doing everything she could, stripping and doing whatever else she could to pay the bills. And he had a older sister and a baby sister, and he was getting picked on. You went through all this kind of stuff. Nothing excused his behavior. They go into depth in the second one, but I enjoyed that first one because it really gave you a sense of who he was. And I don't think we ever got that. I don't think we've ever gotten. We got little bits and pieces in the old movies, but in the 2007 movie, we got the whole shebang. Like, this is who he was at his core as a child. So I enjoyed it. They even threw in, a lot of scenes, like a whole 15, 18 minutes of him in the insane asylum. I enjoyed that movie. I really enjoyed it, and his whole purpose, which never made sense to me in the original until they gave you like that curse thing, and I didn't like that much either. But in the remake, they kind of give you like, okay, he didn't want to kill his sister. He kind of wanted to like get his sister, like so they could be together, like as a family and whatnot. I kind of enjoyed that, and I enjoyed the acting too. I think the only drawback from the remake was I didn't like that Loomis's version of that Loomis too much. It was different, but it wasn't like Loomis is an iconic character. He's like, I'm 84. I shouldn't be running, walking, or driving, but I'm gonna whoop his ass every movie. So I want to say I like the remake better for that first movie. I really like it a lot. I think it still holds up to this day. It's 2025. I think it holds up to this day. The first one, it holds up maybe just as a movie, but as a Halloween horror movie, I think that remake, whoo man, it's a tough one too. It's tough.
All right. Well, while you think about that,
you know what? I'll say the original one was better. It's hard for me to say that though. It's hard. The original one was just a perfect movie. I have some maybe like 1 or 2 complaints with the second one. The remake says fine. The first one was a perfect Halloween movie, so I'll do that one. It wins by like 1 point.
All right, Detective. I will ask you about the remake. Though Scotty shared all his notes on it. So obviously, clearly you saw the original. What did you think about the 2007 remakes? Because I even have grown old enough to understand remakes can hurt sometimes. They're not all roses. So, what did you think of the 2007 Rob Zombie Halloween?
Is that why the song in the commercial was "Love Hurts"? Is that why they played that song in the remake? That movie was horrible.
What
do you need all the information? Do I need to know what it was like for him growing up? I don't need all that information. It takes some of the mystery out of his background. Do I need to know about him in an insane asylum? No, Dr. Loomis gives us the information in the first one with excellent acting from Donald Pleasance, R.I.P. for like 30 years now. But that's not the point. The point is that second one, it gives you too much information. It's a long movie. It is 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, dude, get you a fat burrito because you're gonna be there for a while, you know. So it's a long movie, and then it's loud. And I like some of Rob Zombie's movies, but he really went over the top when he did that one, and especially part 2, which I actually think is slightly better than the first one.
What?
But I am not into it at all. You said it best. That first one is perfect. As a grown man, you know, in your 30s, the first one doesn't scare you. I get it. Rob Zombies does. That's why you chose it. But as a grown man in my 40s, neither one of them scare me anymore. So I'm letting you know the atmosphere. When we talked about atmosphere with Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original, that's atmosphere in Halloween. All right. You never know where he's going to be or when he's going to be there. You see him teleporting. So and how do you learn how to drive?
Yeah.
That's always been a question I've always wondered.
We don't ask those questions.
We don't ask those questions around here.
Let it ride. That's another one of those mysteries we don't need to know. If I had to rate them out of 10, I'm not gonna say it's a perfect movie, but I'd say Halloween, it's a strong 8.5 for me. That remake, 3.5.
Come on, man.
Well, funny enough, you say 3.5. I don't like that remake either. I think it's horrific. But it's not only us, because in Rotten Tomatoes score, if you believe in that, they have like a 26% on the Rob Zombie. So
I'm surprised.
Not many people like that one. I agree with you. Where it comes, and they do this a lot. They did this in Texas Chainsaw 3D, where they give this backstory of these killers, and it's like, bro, it's a dude running around a chain. Like, no matter what his backstory is, there's not a good reason for him to be doing that. Like, you get it, it happens, but there's never a great reason for somebody to be that psychotic and kill 2,000 people as these killers do. Yeah, with Rob Zombie, I hate the way he breaks out of the insane asylum. I hate that black people talk shit to him, knowing damn well 5 seconds later they're gonna get beat up and killed in the bathroom. I don't like that movie, and I just don't like the way that movie looks. I just feel like it's just Rob Zombie. I guess sometimes when he does his movies, he loves them to have a different look, but it almost gives me a 3 to Hell look, like that kind of dirty a little bit, like it's Yeah, it's just not a clean, and that always just kind of distracts me a little bit from movies. It does help some, and I think like a Texas Chainsaw would benefit from that because of the location. But as far as like 1978, that look, and I think the great thing about the original Halloween, that looks like it could happen where you grew up. Like it looks like it can happen, and like the 2007 remake is like, man, that would never happen. Like, the town's not that small. Like things are way too updated. But 1978 is like that shit could happen. Like you don't never know. So
Yeah.
I am definitely more of an original. So I will go there. And Scotty, you got something?
No, I mean I agree. Like I think the original is a better movie. I did not hate the remake. Like I said, I liked the remake, the first one.
Yeah.
But yeah, the original one to me is a perfect movie. I can't think of any flaws on the top of my head. I really can't. So I would give it to that one too. 3.5 is crazy though. That's crazy.
Yeah, people don't.
That's
People are
crazy.
not a fan of that movie. I'm actually surprised you like the Rob Zombie movie.
They ain't watch nothing.
Yeah, I mean, I would say, and I'll throw this in here real quick. I think a lot of times with remakes, going the 2017 Halloween path does movies a lot better. I think when you're able to build on the original and then invent your new story and kind of put that in there with like they played with Jamie Lee Curtis PTSD, I think works much better than just trying to because then you do stuff like Detective says, you try to add to the story, you try to put your own spin on it, and you start explaining stuff where it's like, man, we don't need to know that. And why is this movie 2 hours?
I never thought about that. That makes I never thought because I've always wanted to know things. I like was researching as like before the internet was big. I used to research why was Halloween 3 so different and figure out all the clues and whatnot they left in that movie because it was unpopular at the time. Cult classic now, but it was unpopular at the time when I was a child. Question before we move on for both of y'all: remake or Halloween Kills?
Oh, I hate Halloween Kills. I mean, I would take the remake. I would say they're probably maybe comparable as a movie, but I would say Halloween Kills destroys a good progression. Like Halloween
wasn't even a movie. Like
like Halloween 2007, it's its own thing. Halloween Kills, we coming off a high, and I feel like that movie just completely wrecked that trilogy. It train wrecked that trilogy. It literally killed killed the series. So definitely, I would rather deal with Ron Zombie in his own universe than deal with Halloween Kills because that was just so disappointing.
Detective.
Halloween Kills. I took it for what it was. It was the 90s version of Halloween where everything was extreme. Look at all his kills. It was extreme when they caught him in the street. It was extreme the way they beat him down. It was extreme the way he rose back up. And then to catch old girl at the end of the movie too, Jamie Lee Curtis's Laurie Strode's daughter.
That was a good scene, right?
Yeah, man.
You bugging right now.
Even the way it's videoed. You talked about the 2007 one, how it's that grainy, gritty look, and I think he's trying to reproduce some of the pulp movies from the 70s, but it looks ugly. It's an ugly looking movie. That Halloween Kills is at least at bare minimum a competent looking movie at a bare minimum. So give me Halloween Kills all day, man. It was entertaining, and a movie doesn't have to be good to be entertaining, and it entertained me. I wanted kills, and that's what it gave me.
The only thing I will ever give Halloween Kills because I despise that movie. Right, but the only thing I will ever give Halloween Kills is that is one of the best Easter egg scenes that I've ever seen done when they did the flashback to Halloween 3 with the mask. I thought that was I'm like, okay, somebody here knew what they were doing for about 5 minutes. Outside of that, I don't know about the rest of it.
For the life of me, I would have given that movie more of a pass if they explored the supernatural aspect of Michael Myers in the Halloween Ends movie. Because remember at the end, it was like, oh, he's staring out this window. What's he see? And then you see him. It looks like it's like a little boy still. And the daughter was looking out the window. She saw something. They just kind of knocked that out in the third movie. They start off with like some supernatural stuff. Then they continue after the first 15 minutes with, the whole town is just fucked. This town is just shit. Nuclear that nuke that town pretty much. The town is
with
full of assholes and dickheads.
things just happen in that movie. Okay. Moving on to another classic slasher, and I'm actually honored enough to be able to see this movie in 2 days. The 1980 Friday the 13th Part 1, which I really like the way that movie's filmed, so I can't wait to see it on the big screen. In the 2009 that Scotty is secretly a big fan of, if I remember correct. You really like that 2009 movie, don't you?
No,
You don't?
I
Is
hate
that
that
not the
movie.
one? Okay, so maybe it's a different
Yeah,
one.
this is a different movie. I hate Friday
Okay.
the 13th, the first one and the second one. I kind of put them together because like it's like I think is it part one,
Yeah,
part two,
there's
Detective?
part 3. It goes 1 to 3 before
Okay,
it
so yeah,
starts
I really enjoyed. There was a twist at the end of the first one. I'm not gonna give it away
Well,
to you.
before you get to the long dialogue, let's go back in a little bit.
Oh, you just
Scotty, I
saw it
want to hear
all.
from you about just part 1 of Friday the 13th,
Yeah.
then I'll pass it to Detective. Just part 1 of Friday the 13th because it's tuned me up to see it. What makes that so classic, and why is that spun into one of the longest running franchises of all time? Because I'm waiting for the next one to come out because it's still going to this day. So, what about 1980, a movie that was way before your time, makes you like it so much?
It's a real mystery. Like it's a real mystery. I saw that I guess maybe I was like 10 years old. It's a real mystery. Even the ending is a mystery, and we had to wait till the next one came out. What you thought was going on wasn't really going on. I never enjoyed the camp counselors and whatnot. I wish they would just go away. But as far as the villain in that movie, the motivation for that movie, I thought that was well done. And the remake was shit.
Okay, as you Detective, 1980 Friday the 13th. Really when the serial killers were or the maskers were in their prime. What do you think about the first time you saw the 1980 Friday the 13th?
It was still in the 80s, so it scared me the first time I saw it. Um, Especially the jump scare at the end. Um, I thought it was really scary as a little kid, but as an adult, again, I think it's one of those movies that feels outdated. You know, it's just the unseen killer. The camera doesn't show you the killer; it shows you the person that they're
Yeah, the bandit.
assaulting. You know, I think it's kind of outdated, and I prefer the remake.
Oh my
I
god! There's no
know,
way.
I know. I'm
There's
sorry.
no
I'm
So
sorry.
way.
if I could throw a quick note, it's so outdated that they tried to redo it a couple of years ago. That movie, Scotty, you reviewed. What was the from the van? What was that movie from the vantage point of the killer?
Oh man.
It was just like a year ago.
It was a year. I can't remember what it was, but it was Friday the 13th in a new form. I can't remember, man.
Okay.
I had to look that up
I know
actually.
what you're talking about.
Yeah,
You saw that?
I never watched it because you dispersed me of watching it, so I didn't waste my time.
It
But
wasn't terrible. It's just it's called In a Violent Nature. It was
In a
the
Violent
same
Nature.
thing as Friday the 13th, except for no camp.
Okay. So, Detective, you let it out the bag that you actually prefer the 2009 Friday the 13th, where Jason clearly trained with Michael Vick in the offseason, and then he came back and was able to kill people a lot more quickly. What do you like about that 2009, and why do you prefer it over the classic 1980 original?
So we have to remember in the original, it wasn't Jason Voorhees doing the killing.
Yeah.
No, we
You have
don't
to remember
give it
that.
away.
It was his
He ain't
mom.
seen it.
I know it's not Jason.
Dang it.
I know that.
For the whole thing.
I was
I
like,
just haven't seen the movie all the way through on the big screen.
spoiler
Cat's
alert.
out the bag
Yeah,
now.
go ahead, Detective. You got it.
But it never made sense for her to be killing these teenagers, you know, especially somebody. I mean, obviously they were played by adults, but you know, these some big 18, 19, 20-year olds. So it didn't make sense. Even if she caught a couple off guard, some of those females should have worked over. This is an older woman, you know. So and back then, they beat up old people back then in movies. I liked the movies back then, you know. So it didn't make sense to me. Whereas in the 2009 version, yeah, this isn't a supernatural Jason, or at least it wasn't meant to be. So he would vanish. He would chase you down. He would run. You know, he was still brutal, still extremely strong, but he wasn't unbeatable. Um, and it makes sense that a big dude could overpower someone like us. You know, well, at least you two. So it made sense to me. But I I like this one better.
Okay, you like the
That's a
2000.
hot take right there. That's a scorching hot take.
I'm sorry, gentlemen.
I ain't heard a take that hot on this channel. I don't think.
I don't know. That's a big one. I've seen parts of that 2009. Well, I'll say it's updated at least. There's something about these killers where they're like, oh, we got the technology now, and they just make them like you feel like he could take out Superman in this movie. like,
Well,
like
it makes sense that he's not supernatural. I did to the movie's credit. I think it did a good job him not being supernatural and being a regular person. Now the ending was shit. Then they're going to do whatever they want with it at the ending, where it kind of like he got stabbed up, shot up, ran over, all this shit, and he's like, oh well, now I wasn't supernatural before, but now I am. For what?
When they needed me the most.
What? Like, sir, get some education.
Durable. He's a super soldier.
No,
Yeah.
no.
He tried out for the Avengers. He's just durable.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
all.
so glad there's no sequel to that movie. Because they couldn't explain nothing to me. If they made a sequel to that movie, they couldn't show me nothing that would explain away that bullshit.
That movie puts together part 1, part 2, and part 3 in one movie. One
it does.
movie. Come
That's
on.
true.
Yeah.
I forgot about the mom part. I forgot they told you about that. Part.
Yeah.
But it's still bad. Either way, it's bad.
Well, fair enough. I will check. I don't know. Actually don't know the 2009 age score, so I'll check that in a moment. But before we do that, I want to make sure to remind everybody, like the video. If you haven't, hit that sub button. Glad to have Detective on here. His stuff will be in the bio, so you need to find him over there on TikTok, where he delivers heat daily, according to Scotty lets me know. And then when I get a chance to tune in, he's delivering heat. So make sure you go check him out. Do that and comment. Let me know. We have Texas Chainsaw so far, Child's Play, Halloween, and Friday the 13th. Let us know, what do you prefer, the original or the remake, and some scorching hot takes in there. Another classic we'll get to, Nightmare on Elm Street, featuring Johnny Depp in 1984 versus the 2010 Nightmare on Elm Street. So, Detective, I will go back to you for the original 1984, right in there in that pocket of Friday the 13th, Child's Play, and all of those, and Halloween. What did you think the first time you see Nightmare on Elm Street 1984, and did you have any trouble sleeping after that?
I was 7 years old. I didn't sleep for a week. I probably set a record. I was terrified at 7 years old. To this day, that movie is still creepy. It's still creepy. And you can see the flaws in it, especially if you have like 4K or something. When Freddy falls over the banister and lands on the mattress, you see it. The fake flames that are dancing, you see it. But it has atmosphere, there's tension. That version of Freddy hadn't become super jokey yet. So he wasn't cracking he didn't have all the quips and wasn't cracking all the jokes. Yeah. So he was still kind of brutal. But chef's kiss. That's a perfect horror movie.
Okay, that's how you feel, Scotty. 2010, right in your wheelhouse. I don't think you had many nightmares after that one. Maybe you did. If you did, let me know. But what did you think about that 2010 remake of Nightmare on Elm Street?
I think that movie gets a bad rap. I mean, I enjoyed the movie for what it was. Like, I think the first one is better. I do think the very first one is a lot better than the remake. I didn't mind the actor that played him. I know people complained about him too. He wasn't Robert Englund. I thought he brought a really creepy vibe to it, and with his voice too. I thought his voice was powerful in that movie. I saw it in theaters. The problem I have with the remake is Quentin, the main girl's boyfriend. He is a piece of dog shit. He had one job: stay awake, keep the girl awake. This fine girl, because you can tell he ain't got none in his life. That's the two things he had to do. First scene, sleeping. Second scene, sleeping. Third scene, sleeping. Death is around the corner. No coffee, sleeping. I can't get with the remake because everybody in that movie was incompetent. I know in the first one people fell asleep. Fine, it's the 80s. People were tired. They didn't have the drugs we had. They have drugs in the remake. They have plenty of drugs to take. Cocaine is available. Not a single teenager in there or a college kid had cocaine, Adderall, nothing. They did have Adderall. They didn't take enough of it mixed with cocaine. That's the problem. I have a serious problem with that remake because the main character, the Nancy, was the only one that could do anything, and she didn't even need a whole bunch of drugs. The people around her were worthless. Worthless in 2010. It's terrible. Take some drugs. What's the problem? I can't do it. I can't even get with just because of that. Every scene, cocaine, nobody has it. Nobody.
I hate to tell you, I don't think there was a lack of drugs in 1984. I mean, I may be incorrect, but I was pretty sure there was plenty to go around in the 80s.
There was.
I'll say that.
But I'm talking about like readily available everywhere. I don't know what part of Elm Street it was in the 80s, but in 2010 Elm Street, there was a couple hoods over there. I saw a couple sketchy blocks over there. They could have went on the corner and got some cocaine.
No, most
in 1980, I didn't see too many people in the corner looking like they were selling anything. This is ridiculous.
I'll say also too for me. I mean, that 1984 movie definitely, and some of the early ones in the franchise definitely did. I mean, I think I saw those. We probably see those probably like same age Detective 7, 8, 9, 10. Definitely had a couple nights where it was a little hard to go to sleep with those running through. But no, I thought 1984 is really, along with probably Halloween and Texas Chainsaw, one of the better like original kind of paved the way. And yeah, you're right. Freddy wasn't as jokey in that. It was a little more serious. You got a little more balance. I mean, in some of the later films, I think they took it because it was so popular and just would make it a comedy show. And it'd be like, okay, all right, buddy. Like, it's like, all right, wrap it up. So, and definitely the 2010 just felt a generic remake. I mean, I wouldn't put it on a line with like a Rob Zombie, which I feel like is one of the worst. But I just say, like, if somebody asked me, I'd be like, just watch the original. Like, you'll get, again, the scares don't hold. And that's one of the things with these movies. Like, scares aren't as likely going to hold up. It's a little too paced. And, you know, funny enough, when I was watching that 2003 Texas Chainsaw, it reminded me when they really got into technology and wanted to speed it up. You just see somebody walk like across the across screen like 2 seconds to the point where it's laughable now, where that doesn't really hold up anymore. So you definitely get that with those first remakes. But I will say 1984 is definitely one of the classic ones. If you talk about horror remakes, it's one of my favorite, and I'm hoping it comes back to theater so I can catch that one as well. So running down the list, and so I got this correct. We're going Texas Chainsaw. I picked the original. You both, sorry, MFers took the 2003. So yeah, there. We'll say the remake wins on that one. Child's Play. I think me and Detective took 1988. Scotty took 2019. Did you, or you took the original as well?
I took the 2019.
Okay, so you took 2019. Me and Detective took the original for Child's Play. Halloween. I think we all took 1978. Though, Scotty, you tried your best. I think that movie's horrific, but you know, here or there. Friday the 13th, Detective took the remake. Scotty took the original. I will hold my opinion for Wednesday, so I'll jump in the comments later and tell you which one I like better, because I do want to see the original again, because I haven't seen it forever and I remember parts of it, but not the whole thing. Then Nightmare on Elm Street. I think that was the biggest wash. I think we all took the original for that one. Detective, before we get out of here, I want to ask you, is there any other, well, first I'll ask you, what is your favorite remake that we didn't talk about from a classic horror movie?
The Thing.
The Thing?
Yeah. The original
11,
Thing.
Right?
No, the original Thing came, it was black and white.
Yeah.
So, and then John Carpenter remade that movie, and his version is
the remake.
It's my favorite horror movie, first of all, and it's arguably the greatest remake ever, arguably. So, for me,
okay,
that's interesting.
There we go. All right, that's a good one. So yeah, I mean, that's a fantastic movie. So if you haven't seen it, make sure you watch The Thing. And then I will ask you this, because me and Scotty talking about this. What's your least favorite remake of all time? Where you walked out of it, you were like, why y'all do that?
Probably that Nightmare on Elm Street remake.
Oh, come on.
It hurt my soul.
Not Poltergeist?
Poltergeist is a bad one.
Oh my god,
That's
man.
a terrible one.
I'm gonna go with Nightmare on Elm Street because I went to the movies. I paid money to see it, so that also hurt my pocket. But I would not argue about the Poltergeist one. You're absolutely right, man.
That movie
and I like Sam Rockwell.
Mm-hmm.
I feel bad that he's stuck in that movie.
I don't know what they were thinking with that movie. The same thing with Pet Sematary and Children of the Corn. Pieces. I could have made that movie right here, right now in this kitchen. Both of those. Come on.
It'll look better with your new iPhone 17. Probably look a little better.
There we go.
But no, I agree. There's some battles out there. But in the comments, let me know what is your favorite and what is your least favorite, and give a vote. Let's get a poll going. We'll talk about it on the next show. Which of the OGs and which of the remakes actually won out? Before we get out of here, Detective, thank you for joining us again. It was fun to have you. Let the people know where they can find you on the daily if they want more detective content.
You can find me on TikTok or Instagram under comic_detective.
There you go. That will be in the bio down below, or in the comments down below. Scotty, where can they find us at? They looking for us on the daily. I get they're here, but we are also at other places. Where are we? Where can they find us?
We are on TikTok at Kuronocomics. We will be shortly posting daily again. Haven't had a lot of time lately, but now that we're rolling, we'll be posting daily again.
Yeah, he had to make that outfit himself, so that's why he hasn't had a lot of time lately to put it together. But
I am a detective. I've been detecting all week.
All right. Well, hopefully you can detect some likes and subs on this video as we wrap this up. This is Minor League Films again, so make sure if you haven't hit that sub button, make sure you do that. If you hit that like button, we are trending. We got Gen V going on right now. Peacemaker finale is coming out pretty soon here. A couple weeks down the way. I think Black Phone 2, I think, is the next biggest horror release is Black Phone 2. So yeah, that was coming down the line. I'm interested to see that. Scott, you have something?
I said boo. You said Peacemaker. Boo.
All right, yeah, you don't like it, but I'll catch you for the finale and we'll talk about that. We'll do all that good stuff. Appreciate Detective joining us, and thank you again for watching. Make sure you like that video again, hit those comments, all that good stuff. We will catch you next time.